mentioned the mainland children, but the mainland China is the Hong Kong is also included in China. So Hong Kong is involved in China. So mainland children and compare with the domestic helpers children is not right. And also in Hong Kong, the 150 people every single day come to Hong Kong to get a permanent residence. And this number is already too much. And also there is another social problem, public house estate, which is the Hong Kong government provide the low-income Hong Kong citizens with public houses. However, following the survey, about 2 million, it means that 31% of Hong Kong citizens live in public houses, and a lot of poor people still needed more houses. It shows that the poor of Hong Kong occupies more than 31% of Hong Kong population. Besides, the average waiting time for getting a public house is about 1.8 years. But if the domestic helpers get a permanent residence, the thing's gonna change. The domestic helpers who will gain a citizenship also will be included in the poor group. Therefore, in that situation, the local people have to obtain a house as well as have to wait much more than original period. Imagine under this problem, do you think that we should accept this policy? Do you think that should Hong Kong government and Hong Kong citizens really allow the domestic helpers to acquire a permanent residency? Our answer is no.
Good morning. Firstly, I would like to respond to the opponent's name, which is that the resources will be given to the foreign domestic workers because they will be good to be poor in the society. But the fact is, if they continue to work as domestic workers after applying and granted the permanent residency, they are required to live in the employer's home as usual. Under these circumstances, there's no point for them to spend a couple of years to apply for public housing estates, and they are not eligible to apply under the law ordinance. For those who are not going to work as domestic workers after they have granted permanent residency, usually they have a high level of education. Take the Philippines as example. Most of them has at least a college graduate with a good command of English. So they can actually work for other jobs like waiters or in some mixed cultures companies. As they are coming to earn a living, and most of them have to send their money back home, it is believed that they will not simply be a burden to the society because they will work very hard to earn a living here. If they learn a comparatively high salary, as the opponent team has said, they may even need to pay tax. On the other side, with this new labor force, competition in the work market will be greater, and it is believed that it is a good chance for the local laborers to raise their standard in order to find a place in the work market. We see that in the long term, this competition will be good for the society. Actually, today's motion must stand, as our speakers have said before. There are a lot more benefits if we let the foreign domestic workers to apply for the permanent residency in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is very famous to be a mixed culture city. There are approximately 5% of population which are non-Chinese who come from Britain, Japan, Pakistan, etc. Most of them come to work at first, and after 7 years, they are eligible to apply for the permanent residence. Like everyone else, foreign domestic workers leave their family and work in Hong Kong for years. So how come they are excluded and they cannot be treated in a more fair way to simply apply for the permanent residence like everyone else? Besides, letting them to apply for the permanent residency can surely put a positive effect on Hong Kong's international image. Hong Kong is well known for its freedom and equality. If we treat every worker equally and open the application for the foreign domestic workers, the other parts of the world will see us as an open-minded city, without any discrimination on the others. Once a person fulfills the requirements for 7 years of continuous residence here, and to show that he or she are determined to treat Hong Kong as their living place afterwards, this is believed that they are allowed to apply for the permanent residency. This action is also raising the social status for foreign domestic workers, as the government has shown their greatest respect to them. Actually, if the domestic workers are granted the right to apply, we believe that there will not be a large-scale immigration. The price rate level in the home countries are surely lower than in Hong Kong. This is why they leave their home country and to work here as domestic workers. I think they will have to work very hard to catch up the high price rate in Hong Kong rather than placing burden to the society. If our opponents still worry that it will lead to population explosion, I think we have to trust our immigration department, which can use its discretionary power for scanning the application in the permanent residency. Only a limited amount for about 150 people could be granted residency every day, like everyone, non-Chinese citizen. And they can make sure if the workers can earn their living before making a decision. So I think it will be more fair and effective if we open the application for foreign domestic workers. Thank you.